The court of public opinion thought she was one of the untouchable elite. Blake Lively, once seen as a paragon of charm, talent, and impeccable style, now finds herself at the center of a legal meltdown so dramatic it would fit better in a Hollywood thriller than a real-world lawsuit. Rumors of blacklisting, hush-hush power moves, and covert attempts to bury evidence have swirled around her, calling into question every carefully curated aspect of her public image. No one saw this coming, from the beloved star who used to captivate red carpets and social media feeds with ease. Yet here we are, watching the pieces of a once glittering reputation crash into a million shards. Today, we're going deep into the alleged fiasco that has taken over courtrooms, tabloids, and the entire entertainment industry. Buckle up, because this isn't just another run-of-the-mill Hollywood feud. It's a swirling storm of shocking leaks, scandalous allegations, and a real-time meltdown that might leave Blake's career hanging by a thread. And the best part? This story isn't just about her. It's about a system that can seemingly make or break fortunes with a single, well-timed phone call. Stick around, because what we'll uncover could reshape the way we see fame, power, and how swiftly the mighty can fall. At first glance, nobody would have paired Blake Lively, famously radiant, poised, and outspoken on social media, with Justin Baldoni, an actor-producer whose rising star in television circles had begun to turn heads. Their paths didn't seem destined to collide in a courthouse. However, once this unexpected legal showdown took root, insiders realized something bigger was unfolding. A battle over reputation, career survival, and possibly the future of behind-the-scenes Hollywood deal-making. The lawsuit, initially filed without much fanfare, quickly evolved into a spectacle of epic proportions. Why? Because all signs pointed to an alleged campaign to blacklist Justin Baldoni. The rumor was that certain A-list players, including Blake Lively and her powerful inner circle, pulled strings to torpedo his opportunities. Skeptics rolled their eyes. Could the bright and bubbly actress, admired for her comedic timing, really orchestrate something so ruthless? But as the documents piled up and the drama escalated, the story grew darker. Suddenly, texts, emails, and testimonies hinting at whispered phone calls and shady "don't hire him" orders started to appear in legal filings. Media outlets grabbed onto the drama like hungry wolves. Phrases like Hollywood power plays and secret blacklisting echoed across tabloids and social media. Onlookers scrambled to understand how an actress known for championing positivity and female empowerment could be part of something so cynical. The tension rose when a rumored set of explosive recordings threatened to dismantle Blake's entire defense. Those who followed her career couldn't help but feel stunned. Was the star of lighthearted films and quick wit now the central figure of a scandal that might upend Tinseltown's unspoken rules? As the first hearing approached, the world braced for a sensational reveal of documents and testimonies. Speculation swirled. If the blacklisting claims proved real, not only would Blake's reputation be at stake, but also an entire system that quietly thrives on hidden influence. The tension broke like a thunderclap the day Blake and her legal team squared off with Justin Baldoni's lawyers in front of Judge Lyman. According to onlookers, there was an initial calm before the storm. Blake arrived appearing confident, her attorneys poised with thick binders of documents. They believed they had enough evidence, or at least enough star power, to steer the narrative in her favor. But within minutes, it seemed their plan might be more fragile than they'd realized. The meltdown reportedly began when Blake's team requested an enormous swath of personal data, demanding multiple years of Justin Baldoni's phone records, emails, location pings, and even medical information. Judge Lyman's initial reaction spoke volumes. You could practically hear a record scratch in the hushed courtroom. Words like overly intrusive and disproportionate echoed in the air. Suddenly, Blake's attorneys were on the back foot trying to justify why they needed so much invasive content. As the judge probed deeper, a visible unease seemed to wash over Blake, who leaned toward her lawyers to whisper urgent instructions. Witnesses claimed she tensed noticeably, eyes flashing as if to say, "Fix this now." Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's side looked more confident than ever, as if they'd expected these overreaching demands and had come prepared with a measured response. The tension spiked further when a rumored audio recording was mentioned, one that might confirm powerful industry figures mocking Justin's name and discussing a coordinated effort to isolate him professionally. According to some, the real jaw-dropper was how quickly Judge Lyman shut down Blake's demands. The judge's refusal to entertain a blanket subpoena for essentially all of Justin's personal data left her lawyers scrambling to salvage their argument. Courtroom insiders described the mood as electric, a bizarre combination of shock, triumph, and confusion that turned the proceeding from a mere hearing into a front-page-worthy drama. By the time the session ended, it was clear Blake's strategy had not only failed but backfired. leaving her side looking unprepared and worse, suspicious of trying to misuse the legal system as a personal intelligence agency. Whispers about a damning audio clip circulated for weeks, but few expected it would surface in such a spectacular fashion. Early murmurs suggested that in this secret recording, top Hollywood executives casually confirmed blacklisting Justin Baldoni, apparently at the behest of Blake Lively and possibly her high-profile spouse, Ryan Reynolds. The idea of hearing actual voices discussing someone's career downfall with flippancy shook the industry. Many labeled it the ultimate smoking gun. When the judge permitted mention of this audio, Blake's team reportedly went into overdrive, frantically objecting to its relevance. They argued it was obtained without proper authorization, that it was hearsay, that it had been edited. But the more they tried to suppress it, the more enticing it became to the public. Suddenly, the entire case pivoted on whether the contents of that recording would be fully admitted as evidence. Social media buzzed with curiosity. Did Hollywood's influential players really hold that kind of power? Could an A-lister genuinely phone an executive and whisper, "Make sure you never hire this person again"? For years, the concept of blacklisting was something out of old Hollywood lore, an era of secret lists and coded talk. Now, it felt disturbingly modern. If the audio was genuine, it laid bare a level of manipulation few wanted to believe still existed. Journalists speculated that Blake and Ryan had used their combined clout to systematically damage Justin's professional reputation. Worse yet, the executives on the tape seemed unbothered, even amused, as if this was just standard procedure. As details about the recording began to leak online, fans of both sides erupted. Some longtime admirers of Blake insisted it had to be a misunderstanding. Maybe she complained about Justin in passing and the executives took it too far. Others insisted she knew exactly what she was doing. Conspiracy theories flourished. Meanwhile, the press circled like sharks sensing blood in the water, each outlet determined to be the first to secure a snippet of that elusive and potentially career-ending audio. The most striking twist in the immediate aftermath was Ryan Reynolds' conspicuous absence. Typically known for leaping onto social media with a witty comment anytime life throws a curveball, he was a ghost. No tweets, no sly jokes, no public statements. This silence spoke volumes. Insiders suspected he wanted no part of the fiasco, sensing that a second wave of damaging revelations loomed on the horizon. Blake, on the other hand, left the courtroom with an almost panicked energy. Reporters clamored for a statement, but she brushed past them, head down, tight-lipped. If she'd hoped for a quick, decisive victory to restore her image, this hearing achieved the opposite. She ended up looking rattled and unprepared. Legal analysts speculated that losing this motion so spectacularly might push her toward an out-of-court settlement, assuming Justin was even open to it. But that wasn't the end of her troubles. Soon after the hearing, rumors emerged of an internal meltdown within Blake's own legal team. The folks who'd walked into the courtroom so confidently were now second-guessing every tactic. They realized the audio mention alone had already started eroding her reputation in the public sphere. If that clip found its way into official evidence, especially if it reached the media, any moral high ground Blake might have claimed would vanish in an instant. Fans and critics alike questioned the sincerity of her public persona. She had long championed philanthropic causes, posted about female solidarity, and given inspirational interviews about uplifting others. How did all that mesh with allegations of weaponizing Hollywood power to crush a man's livelihood? The cognitive dissonance was jarring. Across social platforms, people who once admired her were expressing disappointment, even betrayal. Under normal circumstances, a carefully managed PR response might have calmed the waters. Instead, everything went eerily silent, fueling the sense that something bigger was at play. A wave of heightened scrutiny quickly followed. Entertainment reporters dug into every corner of Justin Baldoni's career timeline, searching for the precise moment his promising trajectory took a nosedive. Producers who had once raved about his work now offered vague comments about creative differences. Casting directors who seemed eager to collaborate with him suddenly cited scheduling conflicts. Agents who used to praise his adaptability and passion fell silent. All of it contributed to a pattern that was too obvious to be mere coincidence. If the leaked audio was indeed authentic, it confirmed a strategic effort to isolate Justin from potential job offers. High-powered individuals reportedly mocked his name in private conversations. Baloney, or other condescending variations, removing any veneer of professionalism or respect. Rumors circulated that some executives felt uneasy about the entire situation, but went along with the alleged blacklisting out of fear. After all, crossing an A-list couple known for their box office clout could ruin your standing in an industry that prizes relationships over almost everything else. And what about Blake? If you believe the allegations, she orchestrated the entire scheme, an orchestrator disguised as an innocent bystander. Yet, as more tidbits came to light, it appeared that she and Ryan had possibly played a tag team role. While Blake's name appeared in the legal documents, some suspected Ryan might have quietly pulled strings, leveraging his comedic and superhero credentials to sway decisions behind closed doors. Critics pointed out the hypocrisy. This was an actress who publicly espoused fairness and kindness. Could she have directed a behind-the-scenes takedown out of personal spite, career jealousy, or a desire to exercise unchecked influence? People weren't sure which possibility was worse, that she was the mastermind, or that she simply enabled it by letting a powerful network handle the dirty work while she feigned ignorance. Either way, the public backlash was brewing, and the final meltdown was only just beginning. Just when everyone thought they had seen it all, word got out that Blake's crisis management team might include a former CIA operative. A professional known for dealing with top-secret political fiascos had apparently been tapped to salvage her public image. The rumor alone was enough to ignite a media firestorm. Commentators joked about how 007-style tactics had entered the Hollywood sphere. But beneath the humor lay a far more serious question. Why did she need such high-level spin tactics? The ex-CIA figure, rumored to be Nick Shapiro or someone with a similarly covert background, was known for burying stories, reshaping narratives, and orchestrating hush-hush agreements at breakneck speed. A-listers hiring specialty PR teams isn't new, but an intelligence-trained expert? That suggested a by-any-means-necessary approach. Publications that once adored Blake started receiving contradictory updates. Some alleged that entire articles critical of her began to vanish or get reworded at the 11th hour. Others suspected hush payments, though concrete evidence remained elusive. Critics labeled this escalation paranoid or overkill. However, from Blake's perspective, she may have felt cornered. A damaging audio tape threatened to confirm blacklisting. Judge Lyman had refused to lock down evidence. Ryan Reynolds, usually a comedic public ally, had gone radio silent. Her once unassailable brand was cracking. In her mind, perhaps employing next-level crisis management was the only way to prevent total career destruction. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's camp seized on the missteps. They pointed out how the sudden wave of negative press aimed at him, from obscure rumor websites to mainstream platforms, felt suspiciously synchronized. His supporters cried foul, accusing Blake's intelligence-savvy team of staging a smear campaign. The more this shadowy tug-of-war played out, the more it captivated the public. Suddenly, the real storyline wasn't just about who was right or wrong. It was about how shockingly far one side was willing to go to manipulate the media. Judge Lyman's decisions triggered seismic shifts. By refusing to grant the extreme protective orders Blake and her attorneys requested, the door opened wide for a much more transparent trial. The days of burying unflattering emails and sweeping contradictory depositions under the rug were gone. Observers predicted that if the trial proceeded publicly, we'd see an avalanche of once-secret materials hitting the press. At that point, even the world's best crisis manager might be helpless. Blake's allies in Hollywood also seemed to be evaporating. Gigi Hadid, a longtime friend, issued no public statements. Taylor Swift, who once considered Blake part of her inner circle, had zero reaction on social media. The silence was deafening. A-listers sniff out danger quickly, and as the old saying goes, nobody wants to be on the sinking ship. The optics of supporting Blake amid blacklisting allegations could be career suicide in an industry that thrives on public perception. Furthermore, lesser-known insiders, from casting directors to stylists, started hinting online about the real Blake Lively. Their cryptic tweets or TikToks stoked curiosity. Allegations ranged from mild claims that she'd been difficult on set to suggestions that she'd once threatened to withdraw from a project unless certain co-stars were cut. Though these accounts remained unverified, they built a cumulative effect. The actress, who once cultivated an image of sweetness and authenticity, risked being recast as a cunning manipulator with too many skeletons to count. Legal experts pointed out the irony. The more Blake fought to conceal, the more speculation grew. Trying to muzzle evidence backfired, making it look like she had something enormous to hide. As her multi-pronged strategy collapsed, Justin Baldoni seemed to gain public sympathy. The notion that an ambitious and affable performer had been thrown under the bus by established Hollywood powerhouses ignited widespread outrage. Whether or not everything alleged was true, the sense that there's no smoke without fire fueled the meltdown at breakneck speed. All eyes are now on the potential trial. If the judge permits a live audio feed, the spectacle could break the internet, with every word and line dissected by legal analysts, entertainment reporters, and curious fans. Court transcripts, depositions, and other revealing documents might flood social media in real time. This level of transparency would prevent any single side from easily spinning the narrative. For a star whose fame rests on curated branding, having her personal conduct probed under public scrutiny could be devastating. The risk extends beyond Blake. Ryan Reynolds, though absent from the fiasco thus far, may find his reputation pulled into the fray if more evidence connects him to alleged blacklisting efforts. Agencies, producers, and executives named in the suits or audio clips could see their own credibility tarnished. The ramifications might go beyond one actress's meltdown, shining an unwelcome light on an entertainment industry that often operates in the shadows. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's future might hinge on how well he navigates these next stages. If the court rules in his favor and the leaked audio is authenticated, it could validate his claim of a targeted takedown, potentially leading to a large damages award and renewed career opportunities. Moreover, it could inspire other artists who suspect they've been blacklisted to step forward, exposing a hidden culture of intimidation. In other words, this drama is anything but over. Each hearing, each leaked text, each newly surfaced audio snippet brings us closer to a showdown. And while many legal disputes in Hollywood settle quietly behind closed doors, this one has snowballed into a conflagration too big to smother easily. Whether it ends in a high-profile trial or an unprecedented last-minute deal, one thing is certain: the entertainment world is watching every twist, and the tremors from this meltdown will resonate for a long, long time. From sunny red carpet appearances to hushed courtroom confessions, Blake Lively's downfall is unfolding in real time, capturing the attention of fans, foes, and everyone in between. What began as a seemingly standard defamation lawsuit has morphed into a labyrinth of audio leaks, blacklisting accusations, and high-level PR machinations reminiscent of spycraft. At the center of it all stands an actress who might once have seemed beyond reproach, now facing questions about her integrity, her alliances, and her willingness to manipulate an entire industry just to maintain power. The real question: will we see an explosive trial where every piece of alleged evidence gets laid bare for the world to judge? Or will Hollywood's usual backdoor dealings somehow swoop in to seal files, gag witnesses, and let the controversy fade into whispered legend? One thing is undeniable: the illusions of Tinseltown are on full display, and viewers everywhere are reminded that behind the red carpet smiles, there can be cutthroat agendas and secret vendettas lurking in the wings. If this scandal has taught us anything, it's that not even the most beloved public figures are immune to the consequences of alleged power plays. One day, you're America's sweetheart. The next, you're fighting off legal defeats and fleeing reporters who demand explanations. Whether Blake recovers from this or sees her star permanently dimmed remains to be seen. But one fact stands out: when real truths collide with carefully guarded images, the fallout can be spectacular. And we're all here to witness every startling second.